Ricky is falling to the floor. His grip loosened from the muzzle of a rifle he had just swung like a bat. He had missed his target. The momentum of his swing caused him to tip over. Ricky will never get to learn that he will die in midair long before he hit the ground. A few months earlier, Ricky was enthralled by a new artist by the name of NARDO WICK. Ricky was absolutely infatuated by Nardo's music. On the journey of becoming a super fan, Ricky voraciously consumed every piece of content involving Nardo. He listened to every single, heard every EP, and watched every interview. One interview in particular stood out to Ricky. Nardo had rationalized the idea of robbing people instead of getting a job.
Like, I was just looking at it like, I go rob a nigga and get like this much, why would I go to work? If I go do this to somebody and get $7,000, $5,000.
In like 20 minutes?
Yeah, less than that. What I'm gonna do, go to work for 2 weeks.
$200 for a week.
2 weeks to make $500.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, Ricky thought to himself. He definitely didn't want to keep a job. He knew that for sure. He never wanted to move weight for the plug either, because that's basically a job. Ever since he swiped that laptop from that unlocked car, Ricky always contemplated doing something like that again. Swiping that MacBook was one of his best come-ups. It was quick, easy, and he got away with it clean. Opportunities like that, though, are few and far in between. Burglaries was the only way to keep the flow consistent. He was indecisive, but now Ricky had come to a decision. Nardo's words was the catalyst. It wasn't too long before Ricky found himself in jail, though. His dumbass had triggered a motion detector powered by artificial intelligence. The program detected a human figure and alerted the police. They caught him halfway through the window before he could even make it into the house. Ricky got booked, bonded out, and lectured by his mama. It's all good, though. But it's really not. The stakes are higher than before. He had a court date steadily approaching and lawyer fees to pay. He's down bad, but Ricky's about to come up. At least he thought he was. Ricky was so nervous pulling the first rifle off the rack. He had brought with him a duffel bag and he intended to stuff it with weapons. He hadn't even begun to stuff the first piece when he heard a loud screech. Ah! It was the voice of a woman. Her sound pierced through his ears and traveled down his spine, shuddering his nerves. Niggas ain't supposed to be home, Ricky thought to himself in a panic. The voice came from behind him. It came from the very doorway Ricky had just entered. It was the only passage to exit the room. The windows had been boarded up. The only way out was through where the woman stood. "Michael!" she yells. Her call for help instantly activated Ricky's body to take action. Ricky spins on his heels quickly and takes off on a dead sprint towards the lady in the doorway. "Michael!" she yells again. Ricky, now at top speed, braces for impact with the lady. Boom! They collide. She flies back and smashes into the hallway behind her, leaving a massive body print in the drywall. Boof! Without pausing for pain, the woman pushes off the wall with her body. She lunges with all her might. She grabs the cloth of Ricky's hoodie with as tight as a vice grip as she could muster. The lady then yanks backwards as hard as she could pull. The opening of Ricky's hoodie tightens sharply around his neck and slams painfully against his throat. Ricky stumbles back. He collides again with the woman, smashing her back into the wall. She won't let go of his hoodie, though. She's desperately trying to prevent him from getting away. "Michael!" she yells again. Ricky feels the full weight of the woman tugging at his hoodie and restricting his speed. They are playing a lopsided game of tug of war with Ricky's hoodie. He is leaning all the way forward, and the woman is leaning all the way backwards. Determined not to leave empty-handed, Ricky remembers he is still holding the rifle he had first picked up. No magazines, no bullets, no nothing, but he could still use it. Ricky quickly shifts his weight backwards towards the woman. Without the opposite force of Ricky's weight holding her up, the woman tumbles back, her legs quickly backpedaling to regain her footing. In her attempt to keep from falling, the woman releases Ricky's hoodie. Her arms swing widely to her sides for balance. This is his chance, Ricky thinks. Stubborn bitch! Grabbing the rifle by the barrel, Ricky swings the heavy end of the buttstock towards the woman's head. She had been falling away from him. His adrenaline had been pumping intensely, and the heavy end of the rifle was harder to swing than he thought. Ricky miscalculated his swing. He watched in slow motion as the butt of the rifle swoops widely above the woman's head top as she fell away from him. Ricky felt the momentum of the rifle twist his torso, forcing his body to spin. The force swept his feet right from beneath him. Bow, 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 bow. Michael had just fired 5 shots. He had heard the commotion and fumbled to grab his pistol. He hated that it took him all those precious seconds to aid his wife. That's why when he fired, his shots landed with cold-blooded accuracy. The first round hit and penetrated through the shoulder, shredded the collarbone, and loosened the perpetrator's grip on the rifle. Michael watched the rifle, carried by its own momentum, fly across the room. The second shot penetrated the ribs from the side and instantly collapsed the lung. The third and fourth shots also entered through the side, but through the soft tissues of the perpetrator's organs, eviscerating them to a pulp. The fifth entered through the perpetrator's back. The perp was in midair spinning as that one entered. Once he hit the floor, not even a twitch out of him. Ricky's brain had not so much as processed the sound of a single shot before he lost consciousness. Ricky had not even tuned into the sound of the dog barking in the background the entire time. But why did he decide to rob this house? Ricky had met a retired veteran. The old guy would frequent the corner gas station for beer and cigarettes. After noticing the old man open carry his pistol into the store, Ricky became curious. Observing all the veteran stickers on the old man's truck, Ricky caught a hunch. He needed to get close. Ricky befriended the old guy. He started out by holding the door open for him every time the old geezer was at the gas station. Ricky never wasted an opportunity to offer a lighter for the old man's cigarette. He would smile and bubble up his demeanor at the very sight of the old man, always asking how his day was going, always engaging the old man in friendly conversation. Very soon, Ricky established trust. He realized this when he offered to pump the old man's gas and the old man obliged. It became a routine of theirs. The old man would pull into the gas station, activate the pumps, and head inside for his pack of cigarettes. By the time the old man came out, Ricky would have his truck filled up with gas. The old man would hand Ricky a few dollars as a tip and cheerfully say, "Appreciate you, Cardo." See, Ricky introduced himself to the old man as Cardo. The name his mama gave him was Ricardo, but everyone called him Ricky. But not anymore, Ricky decided. He preferred to be called Cardo instead. It's got a ring to it. Sounds a lot like the name of his favorite rapper. He's so creative. Ricky eventually felt he had built enough good faith and trust with the old man. One day, he offered to mow his lawn. The old man refused. He was retired. All he did with his time was tend to his chores and go hunting with his buddies. There'd be no point in having Ricky mow his lawn. That would take away from the busy work that the old man needed to keep himself busy. And besides, the old man said to Ricky, the fellas and I are going hunting in the mountains this weekend. I won't be home for you to do it. This rejection was not as disappointing to Ricky as the old man assumed it was. Ricky had siphoned valuable information. Yeah. Ricky discovered 4 very important things about the old man from their encounters. Number 1, Ricky figured out where the old man lived. It wasn't hard. All he had to do was get on his bike and ride around the area until he spotted the old man's truck in the driveway. Did that a few times to confirm. Number 2, Ricky knew that there were no cameras and definitely no motion sensors. He was learning. Ricky wouldn't make the same mistakes twice. The old geezer casually admitted he didn't bother with that type of technology. Number 3, Ricky now knew the old man was not going to be home this weekend. Last but not least, number 4, one of the bedrooms in the old man's 2-bedroom house was devoted totally to his gun collection. A full 4-wall of weapons. The old man would not shut up about it. That's all he bragged about. He even went into detail about how he boarded up the windows in the room in order to add extra wall space to hang up his rifles. Ricky was ecstatic. This was the lick he was hoping for, and now it had become the time to hit it. Little did Ricky know, though, the old man had a son, Michael, who had a wife. They both would watch the old man's dog when he was away on hunting trips. There's no such thing as a smart criminal, and Ricky did his part to not make the same mistakes twice. When Ricky first broke into the home, he spotted the owner's dog. That should have been the first sign to alarm Ricky that things would not go as planned. See, Ricky didn't expect to see the dog. The mutt just wagged his tail from recognition. Ricky had pet him plenty of times while the dog was sitting in the back of the pickup truck when he was pumping gas for the old man. The dog was not a threat. but at no point did the presence of the dog alarm Ricky in any way. Michael and his wife were not in any hurry to get to the old man's house after he took off on his hunting trip. When Ricky broke into the home, there was no one there. The one thing that Ricky disagreed on with Nardo was a line he said in a song, "Nigga, you was stealing, I was robbing, it's a difference." Ricky thought, no. Stealing is much safer, especially when no one's home.